Situated on the bank of the Ramganga River, in the buffer zone of Corbett Tiger Reserve, Vanghat Lodge is one of the very few true wildlife lodges in India, keeping in mind aesthetics and ecology-sensitive architecture, having a small carrying capacity of visitors, and most importantly, leaving the landscape for native species to thrive. Today it is a wilderness paradise like no other. The ability to explore on foot is a rare privilege, since walking in and around most tiger reserves and national parks is prohibited. Within a radius of barely a kilometre, Wangat offers a diverse range of habitats. Riverine, grasslands interspersed with bushes, moist, hilly edges, with rich forest all around. A whopping 276 species of birds in and around the lodge premises make Wangat one of the top birding destinations in India. Wangat has allowed native plant species to thrive. There are no manicured lawns, and the leaf litter allows insects to thrive whilst keeping the land fertile. Wangat is situated about 5 kilometres downstream from Marchula, the nearest town, and it is the last lodge along this part of the river before it enters the Corbett National Park. This lodge is designed like an African bush camp, and it aims at people who want to have real wildlife experiences, but with comfort and facilities. The elephant-proof fence stops elephants from coming in and destroying the camp, but it allows access to small animals like barking deer. The lodge is directly connected to the forest on the slope of a hill, and its premises attract many birds. Getting there is a great part of the experience of Vanghat Lodge. The starting point is in a car park near the suspension footbridge, where the lodge staff will be waiting. Guests have to cross the bridge and walk for a few hundred metres on a narrow footpath until they reach a place where a 4x4 vehicle will be waiting. From there it is about a kilometre drive on a rough dirt road as far as the bank of the river, where there is a pontoon. Luggage will be carried separately by the staff, or guests can opt to walk if they wish. The river crossing has to be done carefully. Only 2 people at a time can go on the raft, which is connected by a pulley with a rail to a rope that is attached to rocks on both sides of the river. This system prevents the raft from drifting. 2 other ropes are connected to the raft, one on each side, and with them the raft can be pulled to the other side of the river. Once the passengers are over, the luggage is dealt with. Later, it is another 200 metres walk on stony riverine terrain until you arrive at wooded, solid ground. The entrance to the lodge is a little further on, and guests can expect to be welcomed by a melody of singing birds. A short walk after the gate that leads through the elephant-proof fence, and the guests arrive in the central dining hall, where they check in and receive a welcome drink. Birdwatchers will be delighted by the sound of birds and will probably take a walk around to check out the bird life. Built with locally sourced material, the architecture of the lodge is typically Himalayan, with a strong Anglo influence. The mud cottages and dining area were inspired by the Vanguja tribe's architecture. They are built as if to blend in with the forest. The buildings can hardly be detected from above. There are 9 rooms to accommodate guests, plus staff quarters. The main huts have straw roofs and are named after birds and animals with their drawings on the verandas. The rooms are simply decorated, all with attached bathroom, and are designed to accommodate 2 or 3 people. When entering the main dining hall, the guests are welcomed by 2 guardian stone elephants. On the right, there is a large dining table. The reception is on a small table on the left side, followed by a library and a table with glasses where drinking water, tea and coffee are always available. The dining hall is open on 3 sides, and on its far side there is a statue of a lying Buddha, which is the heart of the lodge. Here is where fruit, seeds and water are provided during breakfast and lunchtime, and the guests enjoy their meals together with the birds. It's like an orchestra of birds of different kinds and sizes, and a spectacular event for bird photographers.
In fact, when we had the Basir program, so we were primarily in a fishing lodge to start off with. If you go along the river, you'll see this whole pools full of fish.
The lodge was founded by Sumanta Ghosh as an angling lodge for fishing of golden marcia, a trophy fish that lives in the water of the Ramganga River. Since this part of the river became part of Corbett Tiger Reserve, fishing was banned, and Sumanta turned his attention to birding and wildlife watching. Inskip House is one section of the lodge dedicated to Tim and Carol Inskip, who together with Richard Grimmett wrote the most popular field guide to the birds of India. There is a large room which serves as an auditorium and a shop which sells products that are produced locally, like honey and jam, and materials made of reeds. Carol Inskip likes to spend time in this lodge.
Affect many birds directly. Well, they do, I suppose.
The main activities the lodge has to offer are walking safaris, accompanied by a naturalist. The easiest and most productive walk is through scrubland and along the river on the far side of the lodge, as far as where the river enters a gorge where it is impossible to pass.
If you see some bird, then you can...
The walk starts with a briefing by the guide just outside the fence in a place overlooking the scrubland. The guests then walk down some steps, leaving the wooded area, and follow the path until they reach the river. The main fear is of elephants, and if they're around, the walk will probably be postponed, as Indian elephants can be dangerous. Walking along this stretch of the Ramganga River can be very rewarding. One can expect to see quite a few kinds of birds and mammals on any walk. The most likely mammal is Himalayan or grey goral, the smallest of the wild goat species in India. It's usually seen scrambling down the cliffs on the far side of the river, usually in small groups of females and young animals. They come down to the river to drink, and later they take shelter on the rocks. Sometimes the much rarer serau can be seen in the same area as the goral. This stretch of river is home to a family of smooth-coated otters. This very social animal lives in groups of about 10 individuals. They can be seen fishing and playing together in the shallow water between the rocks. presence of a tiger is always felt in Vanghat Lodge. Those that keep their ears open will certainly hear the alarm calls of deer a few times during the morning, evening and night. The guide will probably point out footprints of tigers on the sand near the river, but only very lucky guests will be fortunate enough to see the animal itself in its full glory, like this group of British birders on a winter's morning.
That was better than seeing it in a Jeep racing up against another Jeep.
Down in that direction. Yeah. Birdwatching is very rewarding by the river. Common birds that are associated with fast-flowing rivers are all present. Crested kingfisher, plumbeous and white-capped water redstarts, brown dipper, river lapwing, little and spotted forktails are residents. In winter, wall creeper can be seen between the boulders next to the stream, and sometimes on big rocks. There is a pair of lesser fish eagles that have established their territory here, and a juvenile Pallas's fish eagle is often seen.
Can't remember what you've done. Luckily, Carol is very good at doing a list as we go along.
The second dining area is where the fireplace is located. Many guests prefer to have their meals here. A fire can be arranged at night if requested. There is a good view from here of a large silk cotton tree that dominates the lodge, and raptors frequently use this tree as a lookout spot to scan the area. For guests that stay longer, the lodge can offer a trek to a waterfall. This involves another crossing of the river using a different pontoon. It's further downstream and the process is similar. After crossing the river, there is about half an hour's walk in a forest until one reaches the waterfall. The walk starts along the river and later climbs up the steep hill through mixed forest, which is dominated mainly by sal trees. After crossing a few streams, the trekkers reach a large side nullah. From here, it is a short walk along this nullah until one reaches the waterfall. There is a resident tawny fish owl in this forest, but its whereabouts changes from time to time. Sometimes it roosts on trees next to the river, downstream from the waterfall. The watchtower at the far end of the lodge property has a view over a waterhole where many animals and birds come to drink. It is high and it gives photographers a chance to shoot images of birds on trees at eye level. It is open at all times and animals come here to drink at any time of the day and night. Although it is mainly deer and wild boar that come here, one can never quite know what to expect at Wangat.